My bad, Miss Sue. My bad.
So last week, Tyreek kind of grazed over a topic.
Glazed over.
Glazed over. He glazed over.
Grazed.
So, anyways, he said that if soccer was America's #1 sport, that we would dominate it. And I want y'all's opinions on it, but y'all gotta make it quick because I am setting the timer.
I said somebody said that.
Oh well,
but I didn't agree. I didn't agree with it.
Okay, well then go first.
All right.
I don't agree. I think it's easier on my side to be a rebuttal, but I don't agree with it because you can say the same thing for the vice versa. Like I'm gonna just go on one point first and then see what y'all say. But I think you can say the same thing vice versa, because you could say if basketball was somebody else's #1 sport, they'll be the best at it too. Or if baseball was their #1 sport, because like for example, Dominicans and countries like around there are very good at baseball. They actually dominate the league in baseball, in American baseball.
I said the World Baseball Classic, the Dominican team and the Japan team are always.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
there are not
like it's actually a competition.
Yeah, there are not that many like American players right now that are like superstars. I mean, there are in baseball is what I'm saying, because that was my point. Baseball is America's sport or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even dominate it anymore. You've got the Dominicans, you've got
it's not even the
Japan, you've got, I mean, any of the Latin American countries. You have baseball, I can't think, it's not camps, but I mean, teams have whole baseball like compounds,
academies.
In countries. Yeah. Yes, there you go. In those countries, because they are good and they produce good talent. It's not homegrown American talent. It's
like I
picking from there.
I think we're spoiled. Let me say this, and I'll let you go, Tobias. I think we're spoiled. We're very good at these sports, but they're also American sports that they are. So we should be better than everybody else. But go ahead, Tobias.
I had two things, but I'm gonna add one more quick thing. Well, a rebuttal to that is that first off, it's America, probably the most diverse country in the whole world and stuff. We're getting talent from China, we're getting talent from Russia, we're getting people from Dominican Republic. They're all coming here to play sports. They are. So there's that right there. So that's why. And then also, I'm just listing out some of these athletes. You're telling me like,
well, that's because I'm sorry. That's because we invest in these sports more. They don't come.
But also,
they don't come here to play soccer.
They're going to play for their country, though. They're not going to play for America. They're going to play for their heritage.
What do you think? What's the guy who what's his name? He just played in the World Cup. His son, he was my goodness, all the football fans. What for USA, Team USA. But his dad was from Ghana. His dad's the president of Ghana. Oh, football fans be mad at me about this. Was it Tim Way? Tim Way. Okay. His dad is from Ghana, but you see, he had his son here in the United States, and boom, like Tim Way he's not American. I mean,
well, that's also because Ghana wasn't going to make the World Cup. Yeah. So you want to get on the team that's going to make the World Cup. But go ahead.
I guess, but that was my kind of rebuttal to that. But the other one is just, I think, the U.S. for the athletes that historically you think about, I think they have a lot more athletes here in the USA. First, and also we're already a world power in soccer. Y'all know that, right? It's just women's. That's it. We don't really count women's soccer, but we have what, 3 World Cups, something like that. Mm-hmm. A lot of gold medals stuff. We're actually a powerhouse of women's soccer. Let's leave that where it's at. But also, you got like people like Michael Jordan, LeBron James. You've got Bo Jackson, Magic Johnson. You've got all these freak athletes, that we're talking about, and there's many more in the NFL right now. You tell me that if imagine them starting in soccer at like 5 or 6 years old, LeBron James. Imagine them playing soccer.
He's not built to play soccer. He's not
built
to play
soccer.
He's a basketball player, bro.
What are you talking about? He is not built to play soccer.
Yes,
what are you talking about?
LeBron is 6 and LeBron can play soccer. If LeBron
but you wouldn't ask him to.
He is not built to play soccer.
LeBron, wait, he can play
Excuse me?
goalie, he can play defender. Reek, am I wrong?
No,
He has to build
absolutely
for it.
not.
Yes, you're wrong.
LeBron has to build for
You're
it.
incorrect.
Well,
No,
to-
You
LeBron has to
can't
build to play
just take
football.
you can't just take an American athlete and just throw him in another sport.
No,
That's
Just-
why,
to-
but that's why I say if he's training from four, because soccer players they start training from your
Yeah, I was
young
gonna-
age.
I was gonna
If he
say
trained
to
for,
help-
absolutely, he'd be a beast at soccer. What?
But
Yeah,
like
to
that's
help-
a
to-
that's a fallacy and a hypothetical. That's a super hypothetical.
I don't know, man.
And I
Like,
don't
you-
think you're
you-
correct.
LeBron's an athlete. LeBron's just an athlete.
this is
But
well,
you
this is how I
can't
look
use
at
him for a soccer conversation though. He's a basketball player.
Correct.
But I'm saying, we're saying it's all this is all hypothetical. This
It
is
doesn't
all
matter though. What you're doing is listing all these great American athletes. They're basketball and football players.
but
They're
this is
not soccer players.
but this is
Doesn't
hypothetical.
matter. You're still.
Yes, it
throwing
does
things that
matter.
are
The
irrelevant.
whole question is theoretical and
You would
all,
have to use soccer players though.
Exactly.
use soccer
Thank
players.
you.
I understand.
you
Tobias,
can't.
Tobias,
I
understand
know
what
what
you're
he's trying to
saying.
Thank
say.
you, thank
I know
you,
what you're
Reed.
trying to say.
Thank
But
you.
like you still have to use soccer players.
But
to
if it was a
use
number
soccer
one
conversation.
sport, that means all these great athletes we're talking about in these other sports, they ain't gonna be playing football. They playing soccer.
So
That's-
That's the whole thing.
But they picked the sport that they picked because they were the best at that sport.
Right. Not because they
So,
wanted to
Tobias,
play
I don't know
basketball
about that.
or
let me-
I don't know
soccer.
about that. I don't know about that.
So Tobias, let me. All right. So Tobias, I am on your side. I am on your side. But there's only one holy argument. We're just naming all these athletes that are just world known because of what they do, blah blah. But what about all the freak athletes from other countries that we just don't know about because
Right, and
they're
then
not.
they
They're
also
not.
have
Well, they
like,
playing their
the-
number one sport.
the means to actually play.
They
these
might
sports and
not
go
be.
far.
They might not be exactly like. There's probably some freak athlete out there that's still going to get water every day for his whole family who's not even playing the sport.
So
Like,
we're just saying,
something crazy like that. So I'm just saying, like, that's the only hole I see in that art. But what I was about to say is, I just feel like if soccer was one of America's highest grossing sports, we would dominate more because more people would be inclined to play. I feel like our best athletes don't want to play soccer because it's not a way out for them, like football and basketball and baseball.
and even in the original video, that's what the guy said. The guy was saying, he was like, if this was
I
the
didn't even
number
see
one
the video.
sport-
That was
the-
just me
Yeah,
thinking
the
about it.
video, he listed, he said, imagine LeBron James, imagine Michael Jordan, imagine Kobe Bryant, all these players, let's say they leave a basketball or football and they come to play because soccer was the number one sport in America.
Kobe
He said
actually
they
played
wax
soccer.
him. He did? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's from
But
Italy.
imagine if they focus on that. He said they probably be
It's
waxing
like-
him.
It's like you remember Leon.
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 Yeah,
Leon.
I remember Leon.
He was hands down one of the best soccer players in states, bro. He's a black dude, but he was also good in football. So everybody's telling him to play football because that was his way out of states, bro. But
Exactly.
he was like scoring like 20 goals in high school.
There's
And
some other
I
people
actually-
that were really good at it.
I agree with that point that we would definitely be better than we are now. But to say dominate is I think crazy. Not I won't say crazy, but
What
to
do
say
you
dominate is
mean by
a
dominate?
fallacy because
Do we
Yeah.
dominate in any sport?
No,
Basketball.
dominate.
That's the thing.
I wouldn't even say we
dominate.
dominate
dominate
that
basketball.
anymore.
We
Not
barely
anymore.
win in basketball now.
no, we would.
But we need to have our best players out
Our
there.
best players aren't playing in
Yeah,
basketball.
we would dominate.
It's a lot
But-
closer than it was back in like Dream Team days in the 08 team.
Yeah. Also, our best players were playing back then too, though.
Yeah.
But again, like Malin was saying earlier, you can if other teams if other countries had the means to, if they invested in like you can, all your arguments for saying that we would dominate soccer can be the same arguments for international countries. That's what I believe. All the arguments can be vice versa.
They can.
So you really can't say that America would dominate in it. That's why I'm not saying it wouldn't be possible, but I just don't see it because you can say it both ways.
Maybe not. Maybe you're right. Maybe
We've
dominate's the
just
wrong
never
word.
seen because like LeBron, Bo Jackson, like Deion Sanders, those type of people, those are like freak athletes. Like those people are like born to be like warriors of sport. Like a lot of the times in those other countries, we don't even hear about those kind of people because they're
I mean,
using
that-
those skills for something else. Like Malin said, like
So do
Talking
we
about
even?
trees,
I mean, but
right.
I mean, I've never heard of another freak athlete from. I mean, Giannis, I guess.
Giannis.
Freak.
Like,
Yeah,
there's
Giannis.
a
I
lot
mean,
of
I've
them.
never heard of a freak athlete from another country, but we've heard of so many coming out of him.
We live in
I mean,
America.
there's
I was
a lot
about
of
to
say,
things
we
that
live
you
here.
If he's a
know
freak
before you
athlete, if
make
he's a
it out.
freak athlete, we should hear it from other countries.
I feel like
saying.
sports are more glorified here than other countries too.
And we
I don't
also
know.
don't
Hey,
care
bro, they
about
crazy.
other
They crazy about.
countries like
They
that.
crazy about soccer. Like soccer is like the number
See,
one.
that's
sport
just
they
one
live in,
sport.
but They're
I
crazy.
say sports in general.
Right, like imagine rugby. You know they got rugby players over there that could
Even I'm
absolutely
still really
play
on
football
Tobias'
here.
side.
I
It's just-
don't know, bro.
I can
Like,
see
it's
the
just too
the
many.
counters in the argument.
It's too many in America that I know.
And then
I'm go- I
even
wouldn't-
even with
I'm still
cricket
more on
in
Tobias'
India,
side though.
I'm going off of what
Yeah.
I'm going off of what
Yeah,
I know. bro.
okay.
Like I know there's these players that came out of America. I know there's these athletes in America. I don't know if there's a LeBron James in Senegal. I don't know that. But I mean, you can say yeah, there probably is. But I don't know. We can say there's another LeBron James here in America that just got locked up for something. He never got to play. We can play that game all day long. But I'm saying the athletes that we have heard about in the past history from here in America. I personally think if soccer was the number one sport, not even let's say even 40 years back, starting in the 80s, absolutely, I think that we'd be a powerhouse in soccer. I do. Maybe not dominate every single country because you got Brazil stacked. People like Brazil and all that. But I think we would be a world power. We'd also be a world power in soccer, hands
I
down.
disagree.
They look at us I feel like they would look at us like Argentina and stuff like that.
I feel like Germany, England. I feel like they start looking at us like that because I think all are equally. I think Brazil, South American countries are pretty good, but we be a heck of a lot better.
there's no right answer, but I thought it was just a good discussion
Yeah, it is.
to have.
All right.